Bachelor in Paradise teases Susie Evans' return? August 6, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. Susie Evans quit Bachelor in Paradise after rejecting Justin Glaze's rose. But before she caused drama for Justin and Lexi Young, Susie went on a date with Jeremy Simon. After her exit, Jeremy talked producers into letting him call her. He asked her to come back to the show. She said no, but he can't get her out of his mind. Jeremy has been clear to everyone but Bailey that he wants another chance with Susie. He might get it. Fans think Susie is coming back to the beach before the season is over. Susie Evans reveals where she stands with Justin Glaze now. Susie Evans and Justin Glaze met after her relationship with Clayton Echard ended. He was a contestant on Katie Thurston's Bachelorette season. Susie and Justin started as friends, but their feelings eventually turned romantic. They played coy for months before admitting that they were in fact dating. They broke up after a year together. Justin and Susie were spotted together again a few months later, but never confirmed they were dating again. They admitted on Bachelor in Paradise that they briefly reconciled in secret. Susie and Justin broke up again in January 2025. A few months later, they both headed to Costa Rica for Season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. He arrived first and connected with Lexi Young from Joey Grazi Day's Bachelor season. However, Lexi wasn't sure that Justin was over Susie and was hesitant to get invested. Of course, that was Susie's cue to arrive on the beach. Susie and Justin hashed out their relationship and were ready to move on with other people. But by that point, Justin wasn't sure about his connection with Lexi anymore. When it came time to hand out his rose, he tried to give it to Susie so she could stay on the show. She rejected the rose because she didn't want to step on Lexi's toes. Justin, Susie, and Lexi quit the show after the dramatic rose ceremony. Susie Evans was recently on the Vile Files podcast. She opened up about where she stands with both Justin and Lexi now. I have talked with Justin, I have talked with Lexi. Adore them both. I think they're both really great people, and yeah, good vibes all around. Bachelor in Paradise fans think Susie returns to Season 10. There won't be good vibes all around Bachelor in Paradise when Bailey Brown finds out that Jeremy Simon is pining for Susie still. Jeremy confided in Brian Otts about his feelings for Susie. Viewers are eagerly waiting for Brian to spill the secret to Bailey. The trailer for the next episode teases that Brian finally tells Bailey. But some Bachelor in Paradise fans are convinced a previous trailer hinted at Susie Evans' return to the beach. One fan wrote that it was obvious that Susie comes back. But another viewer wrote, Susie would not come back to that drama. There hasn't been an official confirmation that Susie Evans returns to Bachelor in Paradise, but it could be a well-kept secret.
The whisper
Do you think
of
she comes back?
waves and rumors. The sun hadn't even reached its peak when whispers started floating along the shoreline of Playa Escondida. The waves crashed with the same rhythm they always had, but something in the air was different. Producers scurried with clipboards in hand, a new palapa was being decorated with white orchids, and that's when bartender Wells Adams leaned in across the bar and muttered to a confused but intrigued Jess G, "You didn't hear it from me, but Susie Evans might be coming back." Jess blinked. Wait, the Susie Evans? As in Clayton Susie? Wells only winked and poured her another spicy margarita. The news spread through the beach faster than a stolen kiss under the stars. Cameras caught the hushed conversations. The producer-planted crabs scuttled as though trying to escape the drama before it started. And by sunset, every single contestant was bracing for a storm that had nothing to do with the weather. Life after Clayton. Susie Evans hadn't been on TV in over a year, not since her quietly public breakup with former Bachelor Clayton Echard. Their post-show relationship had been rocky, sweet, and ultimately short-lived. After releasing a heartfelt YouTube video titled "Goodbye, Clayton," she had packed up her things, deleted Instagram for 3 months, and moved to New York to pursue documentary filmmaking. But healing had a funny way of circling back to chaos. What the world didn't know, at least not yet, was that a call had come from an ABC casting director a few weeks ago. She was deep in editing a short film about resilience in women's sports when the offer came through. "Bachelor in Paradise?" she repeated, raising an eyebrow. "Is this a joke?" But it wasn't. "Susie, people love you. The door's open. And trust me, the beach could use a little real energy this season." It was tempting. She'd be lying if she said she didn't miss it. The travel, the friendships, the adrenaline of cameras, and maybe, just maybe, the hope of something unexpected. And so, after days of thinking, a call to her therapist, and a should I poll on her close friend's Insta, she said yes. The calm before Susie. Back on the beach, things were oddly settled, for now. Corey and Jessica were becoming inseparable. Jeremy was trying too hard to be funny, and it was backfiring with every girl. Sierra was brooding because her ex showed up 2 days ago and already gave his rose to someone else. But the biggest drama was what wasn't happening. All the couples had that too easy energy that Bachelor in Paradise never kept for long. And then came Jesse Palmer, tan, smug, and always ready to drop bombs. "Paradise, I hope you're enjoying the sun, the sea, and the silence," he said with a smirk, "because that's about to change. Tomorrow, we welcome a new arrival. She's no stranger to Bachelor Nation. She's got charm, confidence, and she once sent a bachelor home crying." Cue gasps. "No way," muttered Mike, the former villain trying to rebrand. "It can't be," whispered Eliza, adjusting her sunglasses. Even producers were holding their breath behind the cameras. Jesse raised one eyebrow. Get ready. Her arrival, and the earthquake it caused. When Susie stepped onto the beach the next morning, everything stopped. Wearing a white sundress, oversized sunglasses, and her signature beachy waves, she looked exactly like the calm in a storm, or maybe the eye of it. Girls gripped their champagne glasses tighter, guys sat up straighter, and the energy changed so fast it was dizzying. "Holy hell," muttered Mike, "she's even hotter in person." Wells nearly dropped a bottle. "I'm not saying she's the Beyoncé of Bachelor Nation, but I'm also not saying that." Susie smiled as Jesse hugged her hello. "Welcome back." She took a breath. Let's stir the pot. Who's nervous now? If there was one person who should have been confident, it was Jeremy. He'd already handed out 2 roses, kissed 3 women, and had a bit of a following from last season's Bachelorette. But something about Susie's entrance sent him into panic mode. "She probably doesn't even know who I am," he joked to the camera, "but just in case she does, I should, strategize." He approached her awkwardly at the bar, talking about his growth journey. Susie blinked. "So your last relationship ended because you were emotionally unavailable, and you've grown by buying a gratitude journal?" "Basically," he replied. She smiled. "I respect the effort." It was a nice way of saying, no thanks. But not everyone flopped. The unexpected spark. His name was Darren, a quiet, sweet underdog from Charity Lawson season. He didn't make it to hometowns, but fans loved his poetry, awkward smile, and that one moment where he cried watching a butterfly land on a rose. Darren hadn't approached Susie immediately, but later, as she sat sketching the horizon in her journal, he offered her a coconut water and a joke about how humid his armpits were. She laughed. Honesty is underrated. "I don't think I could fake cool around you," he admitted. "You don't have to." They ended up talking for 3 hours, unnoticed by most, which only made the connection more real. The ex that no one expected. Just when Paradise seemed to be adjusting to the new queen in town, ABC producers did what they do best: unleash chaos. 3 days into Susie's stay, just as her connection with Darren was warming up, a new arrival walked in. Clayton, freaking Etchard. Girls screamed, boys choked on their chips, and Susie, she dropped her drink. Reunited, and it's complicated. He hadn't been invited at first, but after seeing Susie's promo in the teaser trailer, Clayton had reached out. He didn't want to win her back, he said. He just wanted clarity. That's what he told the producers. But the truth was murkier. Their first conversation was tense. Cameras rolled as Susie, arms crossed, leaned back on the daybed. "Why are you here?"
I didn't come to mess with you. I just want to know if you're happy. Really. I was until now, she replied, half joking, half not. But even then, something lingered between them. Not romance, not friendship, just unfinished business. A rose ceremony to remember. With Susie's arrival and Clayton's surprise, alliances shifted fast. Girls once secure were suddenly nervous. Darren, feeling blindsided, avoided eye contact. And Mike, always opportunistic, asked Susie to talk 5 times in one day. But the real shock came when Susie was given a rose to hand out, a twist meant to shake things up. She could have chosen Darren. She could have chosen Clayton for chaos, but instead she shocked everyone. I'm giving this rose to someone who I think deserves more chances to show who he really is, someone who's honest, even if it's awkward. Darren. Tears, applause, one camera operator allegedly clapped off screen. The interview is seen round the nation. The next week, Susie was pulled for a private confessional, the kind that aired only during Women Tell All or the finale. "How are you feeling?" the producer asked. Susie looked straight into the lens. "I'm glad I came. I didn't come for closure. I came to open something new." And Darren? He sees me, not the headline version, not the girl who left The Bachelor, me. She paused. That's rare. Cue the nation falling in love all over again. Paradise isn't ready. By week 4, the narrative was clear. Susie Evans wasn't just a returning cast member. She was the main character. Her chemistry with Darren had fans obsessed. TikTok edits, shipping hashtags, Reddit threads titled "Suzerain is Endgame." Even Jesse Palmer joked during the next date card delivery, "I'm just here for the Susie show." But not everyone was clapping. Some girls were jealous, some exes were jealous, and one producer leaked a rumor that Susie had been considered for Bachelorette again and turned it down for Paradise. "Imagine being so iconic you say no to a whole season," said Eliza. "She's that girl," Jess replied. The twist ending we deserved. As the finale approached, Susie and Darren had survived every storm. Even when Clayton pulled Susie aside one last time, asking her if there was any part of her still wondering about them, she was honest. "There's a part of me that will always care, but not wonder. I know now we weren't supposed to work out, so I could figure out who I really was." And Darren, he reminds me every day. In the final moments of the season, surrounded by torches and crashing waves, Darren offered her his rose, not with a ring, but with a poem. "For every sunset you've ever chased, and every storm you've ever braved, I want to be your calm, your safe, the place you land, the love that stays." Susie's eyes felled. Yes, 1,000 times yes. What now? Post-show, Susie and Darren launched a YouTube travel series. She's still filming her documentaries. He's writing a book. And they've made it clear they're doing it their way. When asked in an interview if she'd ever return to the Bachelor franchise again, Susie only laughed. "Once was a fairy tale. Twice was a plot twist. But now I'm writing my own ending."